What's this group called, Jock?
Mannheim Steamroller.
Okay. DJ and PK brought to you in part by Minky Couture. Get the best blankets and gifts ever and save 50% this season with promo code ZONE50. Shop online at minkycouture.com or visit any of their 6 locations. DJ PK on vacation. He will be back Wednesday. We are about to talk football with Riley Jensen. Riley, good morning.
My guy, what's happening?
You know, usually we have you on and we talk college football. There's very little college football. There was a ton of pro football, so we'll get to that in just a second. But first, I have a theory, and it's a theory I don't even like. I mean, I like it because it's my theory. But I don't like the fact that I think this is true. I can't prove it as a fact. That's why we call it a theory. But my theory is this. I grew up in San Diego, and I like the little guy. Why? Because I grew up rooting for the Chargers, the Padres, and the Aztecs, and they're all the little guy. Right up the road, 2 hours in L.A. was the big guy. We didn't like them. The Dodgers won a lot. The Lakers won a lot. USC football won a lot. UCLA basketball won a lot. They were loaded with big guys. I'm biased to the little guy. So when college football starts to split, which I think clearly started to happen in the 90s when they basically, all the power leagues decided we're only going to play each other in bowl games, and the Holiday Bowl got messed with, which I didn't like at all, but it did. And since then, they've just been, the power leagues have been pulling away. And I've been pounding the table, insisting, it isn't fair, and the little guy can do it. And the little guy could do it because you could get the under-recruited guys, you could build a team up, build a program. Locally, we saw it 1996 with BYU, 2004 with Utah, 2008 with Utah, and we certainly saw it at TCU and at Boise State here on the western side of the country as well. It can be done. But Riley, flash forward, Washington destroys Boise State in the LA Bowl. And I've read the stories on the cumulative non-conference record of G5s this year versus Power Fours. It's not good. And then we're looking at the playoffs where we're going to get a rematch. Tulane's going to Ole Miss. Tulane lost Ole Miss 45-10 in the regular season. I don't see why this is going to be any different. And I'm looking at the transfer portal and the NIL rules and thinking, well, anytime someone starts to build it up the way Utah did, the way BYU did, the way Boise State did, the way TCU did, you're just going to get your sophomores ripped away from you. I mean, Eric Weddle, everybody was sleeping on Eric Weddle, but they wouldn't have been sleeping on him after his freshman and sophomore years. There would have been people knocking on the door for sure. Is there any hope for the G5s going forward? Does the split just get wider with these rules?
I feel like it gets wider. I think one of the things that I'm feeling as a fan of college football that is I think going to disappear within years is just the bowl games, right? Like it used to be something that you could hang your hat on as a G5 team if you made it to a bowl game, or if you know, like you said, BYU in 1996, they made it to the Cotton Bowl. I think people wanted to make it to a bigger bowl, but that felt like a big bowl and a big opportunity, right? To kind of punch up against, you know, a P5 team or a P4. Well, P5 team at the moment, P4 now. And I think the bowl games are going to go away because, I mean, I've already felt it lose its luster this year, right? Like, there's a lot of fans that are just disappointed, you know, and I'm trying to get excited about Utah State being in a bowl game against Washington State, and it's the Potato Bowl. It's the bowl game that I played in, the Humanitarian Bowl. And it's just not – it's not feeling the same. So I don't know what you do at this point for the G5. Now people could come back at me and say, well, Tulane and James Madison got in, so what are you complaining about? Well, okay, but that's 2 teams out of the G5, right? There's a whole bunch of them. What do you do with it? Do you make another division? Do you make an NIT playoff type of situation where you go a 16-team playoff for the haves and then a 16-team playoff for the have-nots, you know, and make that kind of fun so that if you want an NIT type of championship that you feel good about? I don't know, but you're not wrong. And I'll be honest with you, I feel the same as you. My whole life I've been kind of the underdog too. You know, I grew up a Cubs fan. You know, I played for Snow College, which was kind of the third team of Rick's and Dixie and Snow College, and then I played for Utah State. You know, there's this part of me that just always is rooting for the underdog, and now what do you do with the underdog? And to your point, even more, David. Like I've just been thinking about a local recruit right now. Now it feels like the state of Utah is kind of beating the system a little bit right now, but like to get recruited as a high school quarterback right now. So think about this for a minute. We've had some really, really good quarterbacks. They're going to Texas A&M. They're going to Oklahoma. They're going to big time schools right now. But for the kid that's ranked, let's say he's the third best quarterback in the state of Utah, right? And let's say he's ranked 80th in the country. If you were ranked 80th in the country 15 years ago, you're getting a pretty nice Division I scholarship, maybe even to the University of Utah or BYU. But when you look at it now, a really, really good high school quarterback, if he's past 50, it's going to be really, really hard for him to get a major Division I scholarship. And here's why. Utah State, they may take a high school guy, but they're going to take a bounce back from Iowa. They're going to take a bounce back from the University of Utah. They're going to take a bounce back from some of these big schools. And then the top 50 quarterbacks are going to sign at these major schools. And so if you're the 80th ranked quarterback in the state of Utah, you know, you might have to go to Weber State, and you might have to go to, I don't know, Nevada. Hope that you start for 2 years and then get picked up, like you were saying with Weddle. Play really, really well at one of these smaller schools, and then you're almost using, what we used to call a 1AA school or a G5 school as like a junior college experience where you get there, you start early, you play early, and then you have a chance to go play at a school that maybe can help you get to the NFL.
I just saw a wide receiver at San Jose State whose name escapes me. I could look it up, but it doesn't really matter. The story is what matters. He grew up in the Bay Area. I think he's actually in the South Bay Area there. And he got an offer, and he went to Sac State. And he did well there, so he went to San Jose, and he did well there, and now he's leaving the portal. It's like he has to work his way up through the minor leagues. He went to A-ball in Sac State. He's at AA ball in San Jose.
Well,
now he's going to go to
AAA. Didn't he lead the nation in receiving? He was up there.
Yeah.
I know every time we were talking about San Jose State, and I know the offensive coordinator there really well. His name's Craig Stutzman. He does a really good job. He was a wide receiver at Hawaii. And I'm sure he's sad to lose him, but also that almost has to be what you have to brag about. I mean, I saw Coach Choate from Nevada bragging about these players coming in, being first team, second team, all Mountain West Conference, and then he was bragging about one of his players leaving and getting a bag.
Yep.
I mean, that was the exact words that he used, right?
He's using that to recruit.
It almost feels like minor leagues.
Yeah, he's using that to recruit his next guy, so he's got to do it. The guy's name is Danny Scudero, and he is from San Jose, and he's 5'9". That's why he got overlooked. But he went to Sac State and had 52 catches, 664 yards, 5 TDs. Catches on at San Jose, 88 catches, 1,291 yards, and 10 touchdowns. So let's see where he lands now. That's welcome to college football.
You think about a guy that I played with that was unbelievable. He walked on at Snow and walked on at Utah State, Kevin Curtis. Like, do you have the Snow College, Utah State story anymore, or is he a Snow College, Utah State for a year, and then LSU for a year? Because, I mean, really what made put Kevin on the map is he had 137 yards receiving against LSU, and they were double teaming him like he was a gunner on punt teams. And he still had 137 yards receiving.
Yep. All right, let's talk a little NFL. I am curious what you think. How quickly can you bounce back from an ACL? Because Patrick Mahomes is out with an ACL for sure, and Micah Parsons is probably, we don't have confirmation, but I think everyone assumes the preliminary report was correct. How quickly can you be back for the start of next year? 9 months puts us September 14, which is probably the second weekend of the season.
I mean, I think you can, but why? I mean, listen. Back when I was in high school, an ACL was was a year minimum.
Yeah, but
right?
they don't put you in a cast for 6 weeks, in which case then your leg atrophies big time. You got to build it back up. So I get how it's been shortened.
No. That's what I'm saying. It's been shortened.
Right.
No question, it's different than what it used to be. But it's still a major surgery. The problem with the ACL is there's not a lot of blood flow in your ligaments and in your cartilage, right? And so those become a little bit harder to heal. But I think he'll be back. But why hurry? I mean, my thought process is, you know what Patrick Mahomes is, and you know what these guys are. Like, why are you hurrying them to get them back for, the front end of the NFL season? It's so long now. I mean, we're getting close to the 17th game of the season, right? And these guys play more games than they've ever played. I don't know. I just don't know why you would hurry. I mean, I think a month into the season next year would be perfect. Like, let him really relax. Let him come back. Let him get some really, really good throws in before he comes back. Certainly, we love to see Patrick Mahomes, and we love to see Micah Parsons and the best players play for the best teams. But, gosh, injury's always been part of a game. And I don't know that I love it that they rush it, other than these guys are competitors. They love to play the game, and they might be the ones pushing it to get back earlier, right? But I don't see any rush. But, man, the Chiefs are in a little bit of trouble. I mean, they've been in the playoffs every time he's been the starting quarterback. Now they're out of the playoffs. This might be a really good time for them to just kind of settle down and revamp and just rethink about not their direction with Patrick, but what are they doing with the team? Is it time to do a little bit of a minor rebuild right now, or what is it that you're trying to do?
Jacksonville and Denver and Green Bay and Carolina were all third-place teams last year, and they might all be in the playoffs. They might all go deep in the playoffs this year. Well, Carolina not. Carolina can make it, but they probably can't go deep. But the others, who's to say? Kansas City's going to have a third-place schedule next year, and that is a much easier schedule. They have been playing first-place schedules forever. Let Denver have fun with that for a while. Let Kansas City try the third-place schedule.
Yeah, you're right.
If Jacksonville can turn around 4-13, why can't Kansas City?
Well, it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing what Jacksonville's doing. I mean, I think it's incredible what Carolina's doing. Right? These two teams are teams that you watch, and these are two teams we try not to watch. Let's be honest, Riley. When they're on, true. You watch something else. I try not to watch them. I try not to watch them. I think you're right.
The Puka Nacua story, how much better can he get? What is out there? Do you think the Rams are the Super Bowl favorite, or do you like somebody else?
Boy, it's hard. Right now it's hard to pick against the Rams. First of all, let's talk about Puka. There's been some really, really, really good wide receivers come out of the state of Utah, and they're in the NFL, right? These guys are in the NFL, and I thought, oh shoot, I just spaced the name. This could be CTE, but he played at Brighton High School. He now plays for the Arizona Cardinals. I can't believe I just spaced his name.
Fehoko?
Yes. Yeah. Sorry. Fehoko played. He played for Brighton High School. He was the most unreal high school receiver I had ever seen.
Yeah, he was awesome.
As far as going up for the ball, making big time catches, all those sorts of things. He went to Stanford. He played really, really solid on some not great Stanford teams. They weren't the same Stanford as they were, previously when he was there. He gets to the NFL. He's been a journeyman NFL guy. I've always wondered if he was going to get, a little bit more of an opportunity. But my point is, he's the best. He was one of the best high school receivers I had ever seen. And then came along Puka Nacua, and I think he was even better. And that's really, really hard for me to say because I thought Simi Fehoko was unbelievable. And so I was nervous, thinking, okay, so Puka Nacua is going to go in the NFL. He's going to play as well, because I thought Simi was unbelievable, right? But he's doing all the things that he did in high school that were just amazing. It's really, really fun to watch him. He's so hard to tackle. He runs such good routes, and he's such a competitor. And he's just really, one of the top 3 receivers in the NFL right now. And then you combine that together with the parts that they have with the Rams, it's really, really hard to pick against them because they're so tough. I mean, Stafford is so good and has so much zip on the ball, and he has a guy in Puka that he can just go to, and Puka's going to shield the defender, and he's going to be able to catch the ball and keep the chains moving. It's a really, really tough team. I don't know who else can beat them. I mean, I keep thinking the Buffalo Bills are gonna be something that can be a contender, and then they just really, really struggle.
Well,
to be consistent.
Don't you think the Bills are Cowboys light? The offense is spectacular, but the defense is a disaster. And Buffalo pulled it out against New England, and that's great. And in any one playoff game, I just don't see how the Bills can win 4 playoff games in a row and win the Super Bowl with that defense.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I keep thinking they're going to do it, and then I watch them, and I'm like, you're right. You're kind of right. Cowboys light. Although that's just a really, really rude comment, just to call anybody a Cowboys anything. They haven't been good since I was like in high school or college, so.
Do you believe in the Broncos, and do you believe in Bo Nix? Because he was brilliant yesterday, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 picks. I mean, this is we're getting into Peyton Manning, Tom Brady kind of stats. An interesting stat, Brady, Manning, and
Breeze?
No, I'm sorry. Holy cow, distracted. Yes, Mahomes, since 1998, one of those 3 has been in the playoffs. One of those 3 since 98. So I'm ready for the next generation. I don't want to anoint anyone to that level because that's just terrible. Let them earn that level, right? But on the other hand, you see Nix and you think, well, he's got a coach who's won a Super Bowl. They look like they're in position to be the 1 seed with 3 weeks left. The quarterback just threw for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns and no picks. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I hop on the Bronco bandwagon?
Well, I think one of the reasons why you have to respect the Broncos is I don't think their defense is perfect, but I think their defense is timely, right? Like they seem to make the plays when they need to make them. And then you flip over to the other side, you got Coach Payton, you got Bo Nix, you got all these weapons that they're hitting. And, it's interesting because you watch Bo Nix play, and for some reason, I feel like Bo Nix gets treated like the youngest sibling in a family. It's like I don't know why, but we look at him and we go, okay, yeah, but at Auburn he wasn't very good. And then he was awesome at Oregon. You're like, oh well, that's a nice little deal that you had there. And then he comes into the NFL. He's played really well. Really, really well. Yesterday, he throws for, like you said, 300-plus yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. And we kind of treat it like, yeah, but he's just a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like he's the youngest in the family. And he's unbelievable. And he's got a coach that is going to put him in really, really successful positions and really, really good positions to make plays probably for the rest of his career. I mean, if I'm Coach Payton, I'm so excited about Bo Nix, and I'm so excited about the future. I'll probably keep coaching until Bo Nix is done. Like, he's making plays all the time. And all you have to do, I mean, look, we're talking about yesterday's game. What about the game against the New York Giants? Jackson Dart goes all the way down the field, scores what should be or would be in a lot of situations the game-winning touchdown. Bo Nix comes down, scores, and they win the game. I mean, he does it all the time. And I don't know when we're going to start giving him credit, but my goodness, he's putting together an unbelievable career in the NFL right now. And he does all the right things. I mean, he can make all the big throws. He has a big-time arm, but he's not a coach killer. I always call coach killers the guys with really, really big arms that always want to show you how great their arm is instead of taking what the defense gives him. He uses it when he's supposed to, but he also just takes what the defense gives him, and that's all that's all Coach Payton's asking for is just take what the defense gives you, and I'm going to set you up for real success. He's bought in, the coach has bought in, the quarterback's bought in, the defense has bought in. The Denver Broncos are really good. They're very, very good. And I don't see a reason why they couldn't compete and even win a championship, even with as good as the Rams are playing.
In the midst of everything else you've done in your life, Riley, you spent 1 year as a graduate assistant coaching at NC State, which has led you to a lifetime of Phillip Rivers stories. He's 44. He comes back. He throws a touchdown pass in Seattle against a really good defense. The video online of his high school team, which apparently is really good. They've only lost like 3 or 4 games in the last 2 years. His high school team erupting when he throws the touchdown pass. 18 of 27 for 120 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 pick. Phillip Rivers is going to get better over the next few weeks, or that he should just quit right now because for a 44-year-old guy, he's not going to do better than that.
Listen, I think you know that there's nobody that I love as a leader and a leader of men more than Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers, I have so many fun stories about Phillip Rivers and what a dynamic human being he is and what a dynamic quarterback he was. He's never thrown the ball correctly. He's never been your most agile guy, but the greatest competitor and the greatest leader that I've ever been around. You can see that in his players jumping up and down. You can see that in the players in the way that they reacted to him on the field on Sunday. And as much as I love Phillip, and look, I can give you all kinds of reasons why 120 yards and a touchdown with a late pick. Mm-hmm. Really, you could say he was just trying to force something in there, trying to make something happen.
Yeah, it was desperation time.
And I could give you all the reasons. Number 2 defense, in the league, really, really hostile environment. Why this is going to be really, really good. But I watched it. It wasn't the same Phillip Rivers. I mean, it just wasn't the same.
Yep.
His arm wasn't it wasn't a howitzer to begin with. He could barely throw the ball to the outside. It was really, really difficult for me to watch because I was like, oh, geez. But then just the savvy veteran, the savvy competitor completing what we call a cut route to those running backs when they needed to, checking and making sure that his protections were there and then throwing that skinny post to the tight end down the middle. I mean, he showed so many flashes of Phillip Rivers. And the reason why I love Phillip is if you just take a cut up of his post-game presser and how he was just so aware of hey, for my kids, for the kids that I coach, this is real. I was nervous. And I want them to see that, hey, coach can be nervous and still play through it too. I mean, he understands. He just is always a big picture so well, and he's so fun to watch. But I'm I'm still nervous. I know he can take the hits, and I know he can do this, but I just don't. I don't know how to explain it. I don't want his legacy to be these last 4 games where he's throwing noodle throws and just not as good as what he was. Because I have this picture of him, of how good he really was and how many plays he really made. I kind of don't want that to be what I remember and what people remember about him. Even though he's competing and playing great, it was really fun to watch. There's part of me that's like, oh man, Phillip, you don't have quite the same thing that you used to.
What will you remember about Kyle Whittingham?
Ooh. Kyle Whittingham, I think, he's been one of the greatest leaders that the University of Utah has ever had, and here's why. He's made plenty of mistakes, and I think that we've all pointed them out, but I think one of Kyle's best traits is he has not ever been afraid to make tough decisions and to make decisions that he thought were right for his programs and for like what he thought was the right thing for the program, including like 10 different offensive coordinators in 11 years at a certain point, and being very, very involved with the offense at certain times that seemed like awkward times to be involved with the offense. And I really gotta admire him and look up to him for that kind of stuff, because I think what Kyle learned early on as a coach is, look, if this ship is going to go down, this ship's going to go down in the way that I see fit, not the way somebody else sees fit. Because if the ship goes down and it's not my decision, it's not even my ship, and the ship went down. And so I have a lot of respect for him, because, and I think there's a lot of listeners that listen to this right now, the more you get paid in life, it's not because you're so amazing at what you do all the time. It's not because you're just better than everybody else. You get paid to make really tough decisions. And they're not easy decisions, and they affect people's lives, and they affect people's livelihoods. And you have to be able to make those decisions without not that you shouldn't have a little bit of heart to it, but you have to be able to make those decisions and not only think about other people's hearts. And that's a really, really tough thing to do as a leader.
Got a poll question up. What should Kyle Whittingham do next? NFL assistant or analyst? Do the TV thing? Ski, golf, be a grandpa? Or the fourth option, be a Michigan man?
I'll tell you this. I don't know what Kyle wants to do, and I think part of the reason why he's out, and PK's not here today, but he's talked a lot about, he's very aware of when his father passed away at an early age, and what that does to your heart, and being able to enjoy your family and all that kind of stuff. But if I were Michigan, there wouldn't be anybody I'd be going after besides Kyle right now. And I would go after him with everything I got. I think he would be a fantastic coach at Michigan. I'm just not sure that that's exactly what Kyle wants to do. I'd be surprised if he's a TV guy or wants to be a TV analyst. I think from time to time he'd love to do an interview and be around. But I think if, from what I'm hearing, it's time to spend some time with his family, and maybe he takes a couple of years off or a year off like Bronco did, and then he gets back into it. I don't know. But if I were Michigan, I'd be going after Kyle Whittingham, no doubt about it.
We'll leave it right there, Riley. You're the man. Thank you. Appreciate it as always.
All right, my man.
Riley Jensen, former Aggie quarterback, join us here on The Zone. We'll take a break when we come back. Everything you missed in this show next. Stay with us.
It's hard to imagine Utah football without Kyle Whittingham.
It's the end of an era for the Utes as Kyle Whittingham is stepping down as the head coach of the University of Utah with a resume that includes a BCS win over Alabama, Pac-12 Conference championships, 2 Rose Bowl appearances, and a lot of wins along the way.
Incredible.
Kyle Whittingham is riding off into the sunset.
I can't imagine a game where he's not roaming the sideline.
As Coach Whitt prepares for one last game as the head coach of the Utes in the Vegas Bowl. Keep it locked on The Zone as we celebrate the career of one of the best coaches in college football history. This is 97.5.
I love it here. This is home.
The KSL Sports Zone.
Slacker Rated Headlines brought to you by Trajan Wealth. Call Trajan Wealth today, your local trusted financial fiduciary. Call them at 801-210-6800 or visit their website at TrajanWealth.com. Utah Jazz are back in action tonight. They face the Dallas Mavericks. Jazz beat the Memphis Grizzlies Friday, 130-126. Keontae George, career best 39-point performance. And they beat I would describe a mediocre team on the road, which are the kind of wins that both can signify progress and are also the kind of wins that will turn a 20-win team into a 30-win team and turn a team that's drafting 4th or 5th or 6th into a team drafting 10th, 11th, or 12th. Which might mean giving up the draft pick to Oklahoma City. Will Austin Ainge walk it back if it comes to that?
So Oklahoma City's off to an incredible start, as we all know.
24-2.
Now, they lost to San Antonio.
Yes, they did.
They
Lost
the
to the
NBA Cup.
Spurs.
But there is a reality out there, DJ, where they could own the Clippers,
Yes.
the Jazz, and the 76ers picks, which could all be lottery picks.
No, the Sixers, I don't think so.
Could.
The Sixers are over 500 right
I know,
now.
but I'm just saying. So
In the East.
they could own 3 other first-round picks, 2 of which could be easily in the lottery, if not near the top, if the Clippers keep bungling it right now.
Now, the Clippers, that's interesting. What is their deal? Old, slow, not very good. They've gotten rid of Chris Paul, major distraction, blah, 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 and they immediately got a win, but now they've lost 3 in a row, including the Grizzlies, who the Jazz just beat. They got the Grizzlies coming up again. So we'll keep an eye on the Clippers because the Jazz are sitting there right now with the, oh boy, math on the air. No, I don't want to do that. That's a problem. 8th worst record in the NBA. Now, from there, you could end up with a top 4 pick. And on the other hand, you could slide back to 9, 10, or 11 and give up the pick. I don't think they slide back to 11. That seems outrageous. But they could slide back a couple spots. We'll see how that plays out. Long way to go. The Jazz aren't even a third of the way through the season yet. So, Mavericks tonight. Utah Mammoth are off tonight. They won last night. The kind of road win they have to get. They probably shouldn't have been down 3-0. Could probably find a bunch of mistakes in there and maybe a little bad luck as well. But when you find yourself down 3 goals, still a long time to go. Pick yourself up off the floor, and they did. And they come back and they win 5-4. And Gunther with it's becoming a trademark for him. Another big-time goal. He scores in overtime. They get the win. They get 2 points on the road. They're off tonight. They are in Boston to play the Bruins tomorrow night. You'll hear that game right here on the Zone. The Bruins are decent. A little better clip than the Utah Mammoth right now, but not out of control, not on fire.
And the Bruins are expected to be a rebuilding squad, but they've really kind of just retooled on the fly here.
Yeah. Sitting on 38 points, and there's 4 teams separated by one point at the top of the old Atlantic Division over there, and Boston's right in that mix. So that's tomorrow night. So there's your basketball and your hockey. The college hoops this weekend, we're in the dog days. BYU blows out Riverside. Utah State beats Illinois State, and the Utes blow a big lead and lose to Mississippi State. When they defend better, they'll have a better team. Utah gave up 80 points too many times last year. If you were giving up 80 points, you would better have a very dynamic offensive team. And the Utes do not. And so they lose. 22 points in transition off turnovers. There's the points off turnover scream at you. Alex brought that up in the post game. And for BYU, I guess it's discover more guys down the bench this week who can step in. If you have another injury or two, you can tighten the rotation a little bit here. But you lost 2 guys, and what happens if you lose another 1 or 2? So use these games as lopsided as they are, and I just can't believe the Pacific Tigers or Abilene Christian are going to come in and push BYU any more than UC Riverside did. We'll see how that goes. But maybe they can discover somebody down the bench, and somebody can come along because they might need some more depth at some point. We talked with Steve Cleveland about that. Wherever you get your podcasts, listen to Steve. He'll be on every Monday throughout the basketball season. We talked very little about the Heisman Trophy. Whatever. Fernando Mendoza, fine. We talked quite a bit about Kyle Whittingham. We'll get your feedback coming up. What do you want to see him do next? Got a poll question up. Voted David DJ James. He talked about the NFL 20 years ago. 10 years ago, he thought maybe that ship had sailed, but maybe not. Maybe there's something there for him. TV, obviously the Michigan job is open. We just talked with Riley. Riley doesn't think he'd do it, but he thinks Michigan should absolutely go after him. I have seen national writers saying, can't rule it out. His age, 66, would be a factor against him, you would think. But since the Big Ten champ, Indiana, is coached by a guy who was just given a chance in his 60s, and Kurt Cignetti made that pay off at the age of 63 and 64. Why not? The future is now with NIL. It's about right now. Michigan's coming off a 9-3 season. They got a young quarterback. How do you get past Indiana and how do you get past Ohio State? A challenge for Kyle if he wants it. Or ski, golf, be a grandpa. We'll get your reaction to that coming up. You can vote at David G.J. James on Twitter. Kalen DeBoer will not be leaving Alabama for Michigan. He issued a statement that says he's not interested in looking at other coaching jobs. So ASU coach Kenny Dillingham, who has also been mentioned, is reportedly near a contract extension to remain in Tempe, but that's not done. And so we'll kind of leave that out there. And then there's Jed Fisher, Washington. What is Michigan going to do? God, would be super interesting. A heck of a storyline. I can't believe that would happen. But he didn't say retire in the statement. No. Did he want to do another year or two, but he couldn't, or he didn't feel like he should, or they didn't want him to because they want to lose Morgan? I mean, there's lots of intrigue and speculation, but hey. Personally, I think there's a lot of smoke, and I'm not sure exactly what it is at this moment, but the fact that was a Friday news dump. And I know what you're going to say, Yak. He doesn't want to make a big deal out of it, and I get that. But he's going to talk at a bowl practice, and he's going to get asked about it.
If they have practice availability, Lloyd and I were just talking about, they have not said there's any availability so far. I mean, kind of weird because typically you have.
He'll never talk again. He's not going to have to go to the bowl game and do a press conference before the bowl game. He's not going to do a post game after the bowl game. He's literally never going to talk again.
He'll talk, but I'm just saying it's
okay.
It's been kind of weird that we have not had any availability.
100%. When they did when the bowl bids were announced, BYU and Utah State did availability, and Utah did not, and that was duly noted. I did a thing during the football season, Mondays on KSL Channel 5, 4, 4:30, and 5, with one bite from each coach's press conference. The day of the bowl games, we didn't have anything from Utah, so we did 2 from BYU. Is that really what Utah wants? Abdicate the throne, hand everything over to the Cougars. Okay. Yeah, BYU's doing a good job recruiting locally. I think 6 of their top 8 tacklers. I have to go back and check. They may have changed over the final month. But deep into the conference season, I looked it up, and 6 of their top 8 tacklers were local guys. They're getting a lot of local players. And it's not a pipeline from one school or 2 schools. It's like 6 guys from 6 different schools. Get out there and sell it. Sell it, sell it, sell it. Oh, we talked NFL with Riley. I mean, it's a shocking Patrick Mahomes out with the ACL. Mike Parsons out, probably an ACL. Looked bad. Haven't heard the official word yet today on him. Those are the headlines. Broncos with the best record in the NFL after an impressive win over the Packers. Puka Nacua on fire. Rams. They've got the quarterback who's done it, and they got a defense that can do it. And you're looking at Buffalo. They got a quarterback who hasn't done it, but feels like he could, but their defense is a mess. You got a bunch of young, untested teams like the Broncos and the Patriots and the Seahawks. What is going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen. We're going to go to break, and when we come back, your feedback next. Stay with us.
Kyle Whittingham retired because he knows there's no way Utah's ever going to be able to beat BYU again. Ever.
DJ and PK. I don't believe in the word ever in sports. Never, ever. Don't believe in it. DJ and PK brought to you in part by Teton Wealth. Ethan Miller with Teton Wealth will be live in studio with Hans and Scotty today to help with your retirement plan. Tune in or visit retireteton.com. That feels like a topic for tomorrow's show. Maybe I should put that up on Facebook right now. Things that were never, ever going to happen in sports that did. Indiana winning the Big Ten in football. They went to the Rose Bowl in 1967 when Bob Greasy was their quarterback, Brian's dad. Hadn't won it outright since 1945. And that's nothing. The Cubs won the World Series. The Red Sox. That was never, neither one of those things were ever going to happen. Yet they both did. And I tell you what wasn't going to happen. The Arizona Cardinals weren't going to go to the World Series. So, let's do the World Series.
I was going to say the Arizona Cardinals, the World Series.
Huh? Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I started thinking about.
I have whatever that we can't touch.
No, I was thinking Mariners, the World Series. I just mangled that. That was epic. That was spectacular. Give me a never in your life that shocked you. Come on, Yak, what have you got?
Well, Seattle Mariners going 25 years between playoff appearances, essentially.
But you knew they were going back at some point.
Did we?
Nobody really knew if the Cubs or the Red Sox was ever going to win a World Series.
Sure.
Or the White Sox. They had a long drought, too.
Fair.
That's 3. Now, I guess in Cleveland, they're sitting there thinking, well, when are the Guardians going to win? I mean, the people who said the Cleveland Indians would never win, well, they're right. Now, if they win, they'll be the Cleveland Guardians. So there's that.
Never to see BYU in the college football playoffs so long as the committee exists.
Oh, okay. So there's a never still going, not a never that's. I was looking for something that proves you can never say never.
Well, I guess it's like I'm with you. You can never using the term ever. It's tough to do in sports because there's always a chance something will change. Because like fandom is because we believe that things can go right. I've got buddies who were long time Boston Red Sox, Chicago Cubs fans that you ask them 10, 15, 20 years ago, yeah, there was no chance they ever thought they were going to see those teams win a World Series. And lo and behold,
here we are.
Yeah.
What should Kyle Whittingham do next? 61% of you think he should go ski, golf, be a grandpa. 30% of you want him to be a Michigan man. We're over 220 votes now. If Michigan hires him, that would be the most stunning thing. I can't believe that would happen. 4.5% be an NFL assistant or analyst. 4% go do the TV media thing. Overwhelmingly, ski, golf, grandpa. That is your advice. Zach, isn't Weber State looking for a head football coach? He could follow Mac. Ron McBride did it.
Kyle in Ogden. All right.
I tweeted back at him. My immediate reaction, and let's see how this ages. That's not going to happen. Vince Vaughn.
Doesn't seem likely.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Well, and here's the thing. Mac didn't go immediately.
But as soon as you put that out there, you know how karma swings back and hits you in the face, though.
Mac didn't immediately go from Utah to Weber State.
No, he went to Kentucky as a linebacker coach.
Correct, yeah. So then he came back. So you already brought this up earlier, DJ. Could he take a year, maybe 2 off, that itch is still there, and then decide to get back in?
That was not brought up by me.
Was that?
I think Riley brought that up.
Okay.
Because I don't see, because it's 66, then you're 67 or 68.
But we all know that Mac's a lifer, and he's still coaching.
Kyle could do that kind of stuff forever, and he could do that on his own timeline. And I think that he there's a part of his personality that would like that. There's a part of his personality developing people. You see him react with recruits, and done it plenty of times. They'll bring a recruit to practice or whatever, and you see him react, and you see the way he reacts with the young people and the way he talks and the way they talk about him. I could totally see him doing that. That's the kind of thing he could take a year or 2 off and go ski and golf and think, now I got to be back into football. As soon as Kyle announces, I'm working with linebackers, the line of linebackers want to show up for that camp / clinic / private session. Yeah, he'll be around the block. All right, DJ and PK, we are out of time. Jake and Ben are coming up next right here on The Zone.